Hey everyone, Mo here, and before the video begins, I just want to let you guys know that my schedule has opened up for me to do coaching again. So if you're interested in private one-on-one coaching for me to help you, whether you're a newer player and you want to excel at the game very quickly and learn the fundamentals without developing any bad habits early, or if you're an experienced player who's already maybe platinum or diamond in your top 1%, but you need some help filling in the gap to get you to that 0.01%, to make you just some of the best, then hit me up on Discord and I can get you in some private one-on-one coaching lessons to help you polish up any skills you want to refine and help you learn all of the secrets to becoming a top player. That's it. I hope you enjoy the video. Hey everybody, Mo here, and in this video I'm bringing you the 5 decks that I'm most excited to play on day 1 of the Call of the Mountain expansion for Legends of Runeterra. For those of you that have been hiding under a rock for the last month, there's a brand new expansion coming to Legends of Runeterra on August 26th called Call of the Mountain, and they're going to be introducing a new region called Targon, I believe is what it's called, Targon or Mount Targon, one of those two. And so if you're from League of Legends, then you know that this includes champions you'll be familiar with of Taric, Diana, Leona, Aurelion Sol, and I believe those are the only ones from Targon, but it just comes with a whole bunch of cards. And by the time you see this video, the expansion's probably already going to be out, or it'll be out the day after, depending on what day I put this video up on. Today was the last day we ended up getting all of the final spoilers for the expansion. So I went ahead and all of the deck building sites put all of the cards up on their site so we can start building decks with it. I made 5 decks here that I think are going to be really, really good if you want to either grind ladder out really hard on day 1 and abuse these decks before any changes get made or people know what the meta is exactly, or if you're just trying to have fun in normal games or have fun with your pals, then these decks are also just a lot of craziness can happen and a lot of fun can happen too. So that's all for the intro here. I'm just going to go through each deck I have here. Like I said, I have 5 here. I'll explain to you the general idea behind how each deck works, as well as a link to the deck, so that way by the time the deck codes go up, you can go ahead and click share deck here, grab the deck code, and load it in. So let's get right into it. So the first deck, this is actually the deck I'm most excited about, and I've been super excited to make this deck since I saw Lulu announced in the expansion. So we'll go over the new card here. Lulu is the new champion. So Lulu is a 3-mana 2/3 that says support. My supported ally grows up to a 4/4 this round. So one thing, I'm kind of frustrated that they put this card in Ionia, because I don't think Ionia should be making 4/4s for free. That's not really what I think of Ionia when I think of Ionia the region. But, you know, not my game. They can do with their regions what they want. But I saw this and I was like, wow, you could definitely abuse this in an aggressive shell. And so I thought of Lulu and I was like, okay, how do you abuse that? You get a bunch of units out for free. You get a bunch of little tiny units, and then you make them into 4/4s, which they aren't supposed to be. So for this, I went ahead and paired it with PNZ. That way you can get stuff like Zonite Urchin and Simp Dredger, so you can discard your cards like Jury Rig and Flame Chompers and get free units out to again abuse the Lulu mechanic as well as suit up. So this entire deck is based around Lulu and suit up, as you see right here. The goal is to swarm the board on turns 1 to 2 and abuse Lulu's support effect and suit up. So ideally, a good curve goes turn 1 Zonite Urchin into discarding either Jury Rig or the Flame Chompers. Either one works. And then turn 2, you can go Pix into Flower Child. So these support each other really, really well, because Pix supports Flower Child, and whenever Flower Child gets supported, it gets +2/+0 already. So Pix will give Flower Child +4/+1 and turn this into a 1-mana 5/3 on turn 2, which is absolutely crazy. As well as we're playing, where is he at here? This Intrepid Mariner. So it helps Pix a lot. Since Pix is a 1-mana 0/1, it'll get blocked by absolutely anything. So if your opponent has any unit on the field, it'll kill Pix. So that's why you want to free Flame Chompers out there that you discarded to your Zonite Urchin to pull that unit. Maybe your Pix can even buff up the Flame Chompers, make it kill the unit for free. A lot of great synergies in this deck when it comes to support cards. So after your turn 2 happens, where you play 2 1-drops, or even your really aggressive Boom Crew rookie here, or your Mariner, then that's when you drop the Lulu on turn 3, and now all of a sudden your Lulu turns your 0/2 Flame Choppers into a 4/4 Challenger unit. Or let's say you discarded a Jury Rig, now you have a random 4/4 on your side of the field attacking on turn 3, which is definitely interesting. Also, worst case scenario, let's say you just played a 1-drop on turn 1. If you keep 2 spell mana, you can suit up Lulu on turn 3 if you get, you know, the perfect draw. And so now you have a 4/4 Lulu, buffing up to a 4/4 supported ally, and the deck just puts out a whole bunch of damage out of nowhere. And in worst case scenario, you don't get Lulu, you still get to play a somewhat aggressive deck here with elusives. The reason you're playing Teemo, Daring Poro, and Poro Cannon, Teemo's just a good elusive aggro card. Daring Poro is a cheap elusive card, which with Suit Up and Lulu becomes a 1-mana 4/4. And Poro Cannon is really, really good here because it discards your Jury Rigs and your Flame Chompers for free. So if you have absolutely nothing out in the field and you have a turn 3 Lulu, you can use the 0-mana card to put a Jury Rig or Flame Chompers into play for free. As well as it makes you 2/1/1 Poro. So this could be your turn 2 play, where you go Poro Cannon, discard something, doesn't really matter what, and then you get 2 Daring Poros into play. So now you have 2 1/1 elusives. So like I said, even without Lulu, you're still hitting them for 2 to 3 elusive damage a turn, which will buy you enough time to then land your Suit Up, land your Lulu, and then just get in there. Or like I said, you know, picks on one of your Daring Poros and you give it +2 attack and stuff like that. So this deck's super aggressive. It gets in there with a bunch of really bursty damage on turn 3. Your turn 3 power spike is absolutely insane. And that's what this deck's just nice little aggressive elusive deck. So the next deck we'll talk about here is another aggressive deck, and this is probably the second deck I'm most excited for. And this deck is all about this card, Encroaching Shadows. Now, when I saw Encroaching Shadows, I immediately thought of elusives, and I'm sure a lot of people did too. Encroaching Shadows is 4 mana, burst, grant all allies in your deck and your hand +2/+2 in ephemeral. So, first of all, this is crazy because you can do this on turn 3. Turn 3, you can buff every single unit in your deck and your hand +2/+2. The downside is they do gain ephemeral, but if you're killing your opponent in 1 turn, it doesn't really matter. So the idea with this deck is you play Encroaching Shadows on turn 3. Then on turns 4 or 5, you just throw up your hand of really cheap, really big units. So for instance, you know, Bark Beast, you have to pretend everything here is getting the +2/+2 from Encroaching Shadows. So that's how you count the stats here, because you're not really playing units until you play Encroaching Shadows. That's why all of your units are super cheap here. So Bark Beast is a 1-mana 4/4, or I'm sorry, 1-mana 3/3, because it gets the +2/+2 from Encroaching Shadows. However, because all of your units have ephemeral, if you attack with Bark Beast in the last position, then something will have to die because it has ephemeral. So whether it attacks face, it'll die because of ephemeral, or if it's blocked, it'll die to ephemeral. And then now Bark Beast is all of a sudden a 1-mana 5/5. So this is a 1-mana 5/5. 1-mana 4 power elusive. 1-mana 6 power. You know, Sparring Suit, it can get absolutely crazy. It's a minimum 1-mana 3/3. So if you play, like I said, Encroaching Shadows on turn 3, and then your plan is to throw your hand up on turn 4, you start with your Sparring Student, and then now you get to play 3 units after it. It's a 1-mana 6/6, which is crazy. Your little Onlooker is a new card here. With Nightfall, turns this into a 1-mana 6 power unit. It's a 1-mana 6/3 Fearsome, which is absolutely crazy. Again, your Arachnoid Horror is here. Arachnoid Horror and Skitterer and Iron Harbinger are all here because they have Fearsome. So really cheap cards with Fearsome is really good, especially when they're super buffed. Greenglade Duo is here for the same reason Sparring Student is here. It starts off as a 2-mana 4/3, like minimum, but then you're just swarming the board with all of these 1-mana units, so it gets really big really fast. On top of Greenglade Duo has elusive, so you guys get the point of this deck. It's just to spam Encroaching Shadows on, you know, on turn 3, maybe turn 4, and wait for a good turn to where you can throw up your entire hand. Either kill your opponent outright or drop them low enough to where the next turn you're attacking, you just throw up your hand again. So this deck will mostly go pass, pass, pass. On turn 4, play Encroaching Shadows. Or if you're attacking on turn 4, then you want to do Encroaching Shadows on turn 3. You want to use Encroaching Shadows the turn before you're about to attack and then spit up your entire hand. And then you just spit your entire hand up, attack them. If they're not dead, you don't play anything for another turn or 2. And then on the next attacking turn that looks good, you just throw up your hand again, and then you should be able to one-shot them and get around anything your opponent could possibly have. So this deck is really aggressive, really exciting. All you have to do is just hard mulligan for the Encroaching Shadows. That's the really only like mulligan rule for this deck. Next deck is going to be a Zed Tark OTK deck. So this deck's kind of a mid-range deck and or a combo one-turn kill deck. So it's a really nice mid-range deck. It plays solely a lot off of the Tark support mechanic. So almost every card in here has support or is really good when supported. So for instance, Flower Child again gets +2 when it's supported. Pix has really good support on it. Startled Stomper is really good when supported because there are cards like this guy who gives your supported ally +3/+0. This card gives the supported ally +2/+2. So this is just a really cheap overwhelm unit that if you can buff, it gets big overwhelm damage in. So that's really nice. But the OTK combo here is you get to play Zed. If you get Zed and Tark on the field at the same time, any buff spell you use here, whether it's Twin Discipline, Zenith Blade, or Blessing of Targon, you will get triple the value out of a single spell. This is because of how Tark works. The second half of Tark's card reads, copy the last spell you cast on only me this round onto the ally I supported. So if you can Blessing of Targon Tarek, you have a 5 power Tarek. You have a 5/7 Tarek. Tarek then will support Zed, which will then cast Blessings of Targon on Zed, which will make Zed a 6/5. This is permanent, by the way. This is not for turn, until the round is over. This is a permanent buff. It'll permanently make your Zed a 6/5, which then makes a copy, because Shed then makes a clone that's the exact copy of him, which then will make another 6/5. So for the one Blessing of Targon, you got +9 stats out of it, because Tark was able to copy onto Zed, which copied onto the Zed clone. So that's the same way with Twin Disciplines, Zenith Blade, everything. Zenith Blade will also carry the Overwhelm over to Zed, which will give him First Strike Overwhelm, and then if Zed gets leveled up, then his Shadow will also get the same keywords as him, so his Shadow will then have Quick Attack Overwhelm. And it just gets absolutely out of hand if you can get Zed and Tark on the field at the same time. If you don't get Zed and Tark on the field at the same time, don't worry, you just play the deck like a pretty good mid-range deck. You just go 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop, 4-drop, 5-drop, with, your Zed and Tarks in there. You have your save spells over here to pump things up when you need to. And then your Arbiter is just a really cheap card. I'm not actually sure how good this card will be. Reduce the card of 1 for each time you've targeted or supported an ally this game. For all I know, this could be, on average, a turn 5/6/6, which is pretty good, or a turn 4/6/6. You're not really sure. So this is just a really cheap 6/6 Overwhelm card eventually is the idea behind it. Next deck we're going to talk about here is the Thresh Aesol control deck. So this is the same shell as Thresh Gangplank. The only difference is instead of getting a 5/5 Overwhelm unit that has casks, you get a 10/10 Aurelian Soul Dragon. So the goal here is just keep things off the board for your opponent, get a Thresh in play, kill things, level up your Thresh by, turn 6, turn 7, and then swing with Thresh, get a free Aurelian Soul. Either Chronicler of Ruin your Thresh or Rekindler your Thresh that's died. Do it again. Get 2 Aurelian Souls in play. I'm under the impression that if Aurelian Soul can level up, then you actually just win the game, because all the Celestial cards seem to be really good. So imagine getting a free Celestial card every turn, and it costs 0. Like, that's pretty crazy. So I can only imagine that getting a level up Aurelian Soul is absolutely busted. So the rest of your deck is just Invoke to get you good cards, and then just, kill spells. You got your Vile Feast, Grasp, Vengeance. You get 1 Harrowing for super late game, Rekindlers and Chroniclers, like I said, for the Aurelian Soul Thresh combo, as well as I played 3 Haunted Relics to help boost the Thresh level. So for instance, if you're playing against either a control deck or another mid-range deck or something, you can Haunted Relic, and that's half of your Thresh triggers. So if you play Thresh, and then you Haunted Relic on your turn, that's 3 dead bodies. Assuming your opponent does absolutely nothing, that's 3 triggers for Thresh. On your opponent's turn, you Haunted Relic again. Even if he doesn't attack, at the end of the turn, all 3 of those Unleashed Spirits will die because they have Ephemeral. Your Thresh levels, and then now you get to open attack with the Thresh, and then just pull out an Aurelian Soul before your opponent can react. You also get to play Bastions, which will help keep your Thresh alive so they can't do stuff like, Vengeance your Thresh or Will of Ionia your Thresh, stuff like that. So this card's really good paired with your Thresh to make sure you can stay alive. So I'm really looking forward to playing this deck. This is probably my most excited control deck I'm excited for. And the final deck we're going to talk about here is Misfortune Diana Aggro. So this actually isn't my deck. As you can see, here's this 4LW's deck. Highly respected player. I really respect 4LW. I'll leave it a like here. He's a really good player. I don't know about his deck building skills, to be honest with you, but I just know he's a really good player. So I trust anything he plays. And he put up this Diana Misfortune deck not too long. I know it says 6 hours, but it wasn't too long ago. And I actually really like the idea behind it. So the idea is all of the cards have Nightfall here, which you want to play them second. But some of them are like, you know, Lunari Shadestalkers. Ideally, it's a 2-mana, 2/3 elusive, which would be really good. But because it costs 2 mana and you only get the effect for Nightfall, you either have to spend 1 spell mana, like bank a spell mana from the previous turn, and then hope to have a 1 mana spell and get that. Or you can play a 0 mana card. Well, what region has a good 0 mana card? Warning Shot. Well, if you're already going to be playing Warning Shot, you might as well play something like Jagged Butcher, Black Market Merchant, you know, Riptide Rex, stuff like that. So I really like the synergies in this deck. It looks like a really nice aggro deck. I mean, you have options here on even your 1-drops. You get a 1-mana 3/3. You get a 1-mana 3/3 potentially. Like, those are really solid. Your 2-drops, you know, potentially 2-mana 2/3 elusive, or you get a 2-mana 2/2 Diana, or, you know, Warning Shot Diana. Now that has Challenger. The Nightfall effect on Diana also looks like it'll be really easy to level up. So that's really nice to look forward to. And then you just get the rest of the whole Bilgewater aggressive pack, and then for your top end, you're just gonna have the most, you know, one of the most broken cards in the game, and Riptide Rex as your closer. So all around, this just looks like a very solid, very good aggressive deck. So if I were you guys and you're looking for something to climb really hard with on day 1 before the meta settles in, I would definitely pick one of these 5 decks. None of them can steer you wrong. I'm going to be playing all of them on my stream, so if you want to check out how I personally play them or any tweaks I end up making to the decks, make sure to go ahead and follow me on Twitch. The link will be down in the description below at twitch.tv/emotional. Make sure to sub here on YouTube because I post videos Monday through Friday, and join the Discord so you guys don't miss notifications on anything. I hope you guys enjoy this next set as much as I do, and I'll see you in the next video.